Imagine not being Leeds, not feeling this pain, not dancing through thunder, not walking through rain. Imagine not rising with fists in the air when the world turned its back and no one would care. We've lived in the ashes, we've drowned in defeat, but still we stand proud on our battered old feet. Imagine not loving with all that you are. Imagine not being Leeds.
We love you, Leeds, Leeds, Leeds.
We do love you, Leeds, Leeds, Leeds. Now then, everybody, welcome back to Imagine Not Being Leeds. For an opinions to go. It's been a while. I give you my opinions very often, but not in this format. So opinions to go. So I would love to know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do Leeds need a 10? Do Leeds go for a 10? Currently, there's not many rumours out there. The rumour mill. None of them seem to be speaking about 10s. We talk about Paxao, who's a left winger. We know we need a goalkeeper. We know we need a striker. Rodrigo Muniz is the target apparently there. No talks of 10. The Hamer stuff early on, the Buendia stuff, it's all gone quiet. So I thought it'd be a decent little opinion piece to sort of speak about. And do we think Leeds need it? We saw obviously at the weekend they played Scum out in Sweden and Stockholm. I thought it was a fantastic performance. We've seen Farke adopt a 4-3-3 formation system. Got 5 midfielders now with Stack. The great news that Stack's joined today. Made it official. We've known for a fair few days now, if not a week or so, it will go in ahead. It felt like that deal were always going to get done eventually, similar to other deals I've had in this window. But that's 5 midfielders, 5 central midfielders. You've got some, you've got Longstaff, a bit more progressive, a bit box to box. You've got your likes of Ampadu, Stack, who are probably a bit more of a destroyer in midfield. DM, break play up and could play as well. Don't get me wrong, but very physical players. We've got a nice mixture in there. Gruev played big minutes on Saturday against Scum. We know Farke is a massive admirer of Gruev. I think Gruev's grown on a lot of people. Very steady Eddie in there. I like to compare him to Sam Byram really, but a midfield version is just, what you're going to get from Gruev. He's just, he's not going to do no brilliant, not too exciting, apart from if you give him a set piece in semi-final against Norwich. He can ping one in top bins, but you know what you're going to get from Gruev. He's just going to clean up there, and he's probably 5th choice now with Stack coming in, and he'll know that. But like I say, he's got the trust of Farke, and that's massive for Daniel Farke. I think 5 midfielders sounds too many, but if we're playing with 3, majority of the time, 5 into 3 I think goes well. 3 start, 2 on bench, you need that. There's going to be injuries, there's going to be suspensions, especially in the midfield. We how physical I think we're going to be. I think we need that amount. 5 players is probably what we need. So I see Gruev staying now. I've sort of not been too sure through the window whether Gruev stays or not, but I think that's the way we'll set up with a 4-3-3, which I think shies away from the 4-2-3-1 formation. Aronson I think will stay too. He may be our only option in 10. We've brought in a Metcher, looked great as that lone striker while they were on that first half against Scum on Saturday. I think he could play a little bit deeper. I think he could hold the ball up and link up really well with a 9. So maybe he's an option in 10. We know Pirot isn't too bad in the 10 role. I think he's improved in that position. I think he looked okay when he dropped a bit deeper on Saturday also. So when Gray came on, I think there's a few options in there at 10. Not an outstanding option, fair enough. We haven't got an out-and-out 10 there. Aronson's a bit too light. I don't really want to see Aronson play big minutes, but is there a conversation here that we adopt a 4-3-3 system the majority of the time? And we've got a few backup options there, a few different options in, let's say, Metcher, Pirot and Aronson to switch it up as and when needed. So I'm sort of looking at it now thinking we know the 10 is a bit of a... It's an exciting signing. Is a 10. It's a flair player. That's normally where the pound notes come in. Those attacking players, your wingers, your 10s, your strikers. I think the goalkeeper may cost a little bit of money for Leeds United potentially. I think the striker's going to be our biggest, and obviously Paxao is right up there too. Between Paxao, the goalkeeper, and the striker, I think they're gonna probably equal what we've spent on these 6 signings we've currently brought in. I think it's been really smart business so far by Leeds. I think we brought in 6 players for around 60 to 70 million quid. Really smart business. All of international experience, bar Longstaff, who's got Premier League experience. So I think it's brilliant what they've done. Now the big money signings are about to come for me. I aren't too sure of 10 I'm not too sure a 10 will come in on that basis, unless there's a deal to be done, something, dominoes fall later on in window, and there's a deal Leeds can't turn away, can't shy away from. Maybe something comes up, maybe a loan. I just don't see Leeds going for a McAtee now, say, for 25-30 million. I don't see that signing coming in. Not one we're heavily linked with a Paxau and a Munez, who, all in all could be 60 plus just on 2 players. So I kind of look at that budget of 100 to 150 million, thinking top end's 150, we got told. We're at 60 to 70 now. We could easily at 60, 70 in the next 2 or 3 signings. And I don't think that includes a 10 for me. So I'm not too sure. I'd love to know what you guys think. And I've always said since Pablo left, I'd love that sort of player back, those players that excite me. But I think it's going to come from the wingers this season with a really solid midfield. That 10, I would love the option, but I don't think Leeds will stockpile players. I really don't. So I think they'll maybe look at it that they've got a few options in there, albeit not options we'd probably love as fans, but there is options in there if you wanted to change to a 4-2-3-1, and maybe that'll be enough for Farke. If he already knows he's going to adopt a 4-3-3 on the consistent basis, then maybe, 15, 20, 25 million pound flair, exciting 10 is off the cards. So yeah, that's my sort of opinions on it. Let me know what you think. And now I'll pass you over to my Yorkshire Roses teammate, the best left back in the business. It's James from Leeds That.
I hope you're right, mate. Yeah, this is a great question, whether we need a number 10, and possibly a difficult one to answer. I would say that if you looked at our transfer window last season in the Championship, and having failed to get promoted in the first time round under Farke, everyone wanted a number 10, and that was because Farke utilised the number 10 in Buendia perfectly in the Championship to get Norwich City out of it. So I think we were all asking him to replicate the same method. But I think as time's gone on and we've seen a Farke side play very well in the Championship without one, it does now make us think, well, can we adapt to life in the Premier League without one? And I think there's definitely some positives with having a playmaker, a number 10. But I just don't think it's needed. And what I'd ask is if it's a risk as well. And when I say risk, if you buy a 10, you're putting all of your eggs into the basket of a number 10 being your creative outlet and linking midfield to attack. Whereas actually, if you've got really good, competent wingers, creative wingers that can break down defence, then do you need it? It gives you more options. Rather than you just looking for one person, you've actually got a front line that can interchange, particularly in a 4-3-3, and just create chaos, which I think is what we need to do. And obviously it's still up in the air with someone like Paixão, or Paxau, I don't know the pronunciation, as to whether he'll sign for Leeds. But you look at his stats and the way he plays, and he's just out and out creative player who can really cause problems for teams. Brilliant at passing, brilliant at taking on players, brilliant at shooting from distance, brilliant at cutting inside. So I think the official lines coming out of the club are they want a goalkeeper, a winger and a striker. I think that tells you everything you need to know, that they don't really see that a number 10, an out-and-out number 10 is necessary. So I think we've got to trust in that as well. I think they've done an incredible job so far, in the last 2 seasons, and I think they'll continue to do so now. And, Anton Stack coming in is a really impressive sign. And if we're going to set up in a 4-3-3 formation, which we did against Scum at the weekend, then that just gives us such a solid defensive base where we can adapt to control possession or press aggressively. So yeah, I think it's difficult, isn't it? Because if a number 10 came in who was out of this world, you'd be like, well, we needed a number 10, but and he's a perfect fit. But I think with it feels a lot of risk to put everything into a number 10. I know I'm repeating myself here. And I think having just solid attacking players, having Gnonto, having Ramazani, having Dan James bolting behind over the shoulder of players, I think we've got a lot of really good options there. And I would say that, yeah, not for me, number 10 isn't necessary. I think go get someone like Paixão, if we don't get him. And I know that's a big ask as well, but I think that will fit the need of what Leeds United need in this transfer window. Yeah, thanks for having me, mate. See you soon.